Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will delve into the intriguing mystery surrounding Kai Taylor's unwavering loyalty to Drew Cain, sparking questions about whether there's a hidden family tie or something even more profound at play. In the bustling world of Port Charles, Kai Taylor's steadfast devotion to Drew Cain has become a topic of heated discussion among fans, raising eyebrows and prompting speculation about underlying motives that go beyond simple gratitude. It all started when Kai, a promising young athlete whose dreams were shattered by a devastating football injury that left him unable to play professionally, crossed paths with Drew. Recognizing Kai's potential and despair, Drew stepped in as an unexpected benefactor, offering not just moral support but also financial backing for a revolutionary experimental surgery. This procedure, developed by cutting-edge medical researchers in Europe, involved advanced nerve regeneration techniques that promised to restore full mobility. While the operation didn't fully revive Kai's gridiron glory, leaving him sidelined from the sport he loved, it miraculously enabled him to walk again without assistance, a gift that transformed his daily life and reignited his hope for the future. Kai, ever the optimist, expressed profound appreciation for Drew's generosity, emphasizing that he had entered the process with eyes wide open, fully aware of the experimental nature and the slim odds of a complete athletic comeback. This act of kindness from Drew painted him as a hero in Kai's eyes, forging a bond that seemed unbreakable, even as others in Port Charles viewed it with suspicion. However, not everyone shared Kai's rosy perspective on Drew's involvement, particularly Trina Robinson, Kai's then-girlfriend, who harbored deep resentment toward the congressman for what she saw as false promises. Trina, with her sharp intuition and strong family ties, accused Drew of irresponsibly inflating Kai's expectations, only to let them crash when the surgery fell short of restoring his football career. She argued that Drew's intervention was more about boosting his own image than genuine altruism, pointing to how it left Kai emotionally scarred despite the physical gains. Yet Kai remained gracious, defending Drew by recounting how the risks were transparently discussed from the outset. No guarantees, just a fighting chance. This clash in viewpoints strained their relationship, as Trina struggled to reconcile her love for Kai with his admiration for a man she deemed untrustworthy. Adding layers to this tension, Kai's background as a former high school football star from a small town outside Port Charles was rarely explored, leaving fans to wonder if his resilience stemmed from a tough upbringing or unspoken family secrets that mirrored Drew's own complicated history of loss and reinvention. The real fracture in Kai and Trina's romance emerged from a web of deceit and family intrigue that tested loyalties to their core. Overhearing a private conversation between Trina's parents, Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson, Kai learned of their desperate scheme to undermine Drew by tracking down Jacinda, a sex worker linked to one of his scandalous nights. Their plan involved bribing her to fabricate a story claiming Drew initiated a drug-fueled encounter with ketamine, aiming to tarnish his reputation and halt his escalating blackmail threats. Shocked but driven by his sense of obligation to Drew, Kai chose to intervene, confronting Curtis directly and confessing that he intended to alert Drew to the plot. Curtis, ever the level-headed investigator, acknowledged Kai's conflicted position but insisted on transparency, revealing the betrayal to Trina. The fallout was swift and devastating. Trina, feeling utterly betrayed by Kai's choice to side with Drew over her family's safety, unleashed her fury and ended their relationship on the spot. In a poignant twist, Kai never expressed regret for his actions, standing firm in his belief that honesty with Drew was the right path, even as it backfired spectacularly. Drew's blackmail only intensified, weaving in more horrifying elements like anonymous threats and leaked personal secrets that terrorized Curtis and Portia, underscoring how Kai's intervention had unintended consequences that rippled through their lives. Trina's warnings about Drew's true nature had echoed repeatedly throughout their time together, painting him as a manipulative figure whose charm masked darker impulses, yet Kai dismissed them, blinded by the positive impact Drew had on his recovery. This blind spot was further highlighted at the ill-fated wedding of Drew and Willow Tate, an event Kai attended as a show of support, only to witness its dramatic unraveling. As vows turned to chaos at the altar, Willow publicly eviscerated Drew, exposing his shocking affair with her own mother. Nina reveals a revelation that sent shockwaves through the gathered guests and exposed layers of deceit in Drew's personal life. Fans held their breath, wondering if this bombshell would finally shatter Kai's illusions. But in a moment that spoke volumes about his character, Kai simply shrugged it off, remarking that everyone slips up sometimes and emphasizing redemption over judgment. This forgiving stance, while admirable in its empathy, isolated Kai further from Trina and her circle, who saw it as naive enabling of Drew's flaws. Inventing a new angle, some viewers speculate that Kai's empathy might stem from his own hidden past mistakes, perhaps a youthful indiscretion during his football days that Drew helped cover up, adding depth to why he clings so tightly to this alliance. Kai's persistent faith in Drew's better side, despite mounting evidence of his misdeeds, has cost him dearly, alienating not just his romantic partner, but also friends who once rallied around him during his injury recovery. In a town like Port Charles, where alliances shift like sand, Kai has emerged as Drew's sole unwavering ally, a lone beacon of loyalty amid a sea of detractors. This dynamic has fueled wild theories on social media, with fans proposing that Kai could be Drew's long-lost son, a secret offspring from a forgotten chapter in Drew's tumultuous life. Little is known about Kai's origins beyond his passion for football and his brief romance with Trina. His family remains a blank slate, never introduced on the show, which leaves ample room for dramatic reveals. Soap operas like General Hospital thrive on such connections, often weaving stray characters into the fabric of established families to heighten stakes and emotional ties. For instance, the recent bombshell that Giovanni Palmieri is the son of Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconieri exemplifies how the show masterfully retrofits backstories to create instant legacies. Extending this pattern, it wouldn't be far-fetched for Kai to share DNA with Drew, perhaps from a pre-amnesia fling or a hidden adoption storyline, explaining his inexplicable pedestal placement of the congressman. Imagine the ripple effects. A paternity reveal could redefine Drew's arc, offering him redemption through fatherhood while forcing Kai to confront his fractured relationships in Port Charles. As we ponder these possibilities, the theory gains traction because it aligns perfectly with Kai's behavior. His devotion feels almost instinctual, like a familial pull rather than mere gratitude. General Hospital has a storied history of such twists, from long-lost siblings to surprise heirs, keeping viewers hooked with layers of intrigue. Whether Kai turns out to be Drew's progeny or simply a devoted friend with his own undisclosed agenda, this storyline promises more drama ahead. What are your thoughts? Could Kai really be Drew's secret son? Or is there another explanation for his loyalty? Next, we will explore the explosive developments as Ava Jerome extends a surprising olive branch to Alexis Davis, all while plotting a fierce revenge against Rick Lansing for abandoning her in favor of his ex, Elizabeth Baldwin. In the ever-twisting saga of Port Charles, Ava Jerome's simmering rage is reaching a boiling point after Rick Lansing's abrupt decision to rekindle his romance with Elizabeth Baldwin, leaving Ava scorned and ready to unleash her signature brand of retribution. Spoilers indicate that this betrayal has ignited Ava's vengeful instincts, prompting her to approach Alexis Davis with what appears to be a peace offering, but one laced with ulterior motives. Drawing from her notorious past of calculated Chemesek as the time she manipulated Morgan Corinthos' medication to disastrous ends, Ava seems poised to orchestrate a plan that could shift the blame for their ongoing blackmail nightmare squarely onto Rick's shoulders. This blackmail stems from Christina Corinthos Davis' impulsive act of sabotage, where she tampered with Rick's car brakes in a misguided attempt to eliminate Ava, nearly costing Elizabeth her life in the process. By dangling this olive branch, Ava might be proposing alliance to fabricate evidence pinning Rick as the mastermind behind the coercion, potentially freeing both women from the legal and emotional quagmire. Yet, fans buzzing on social media platforms like Facebook are divided, with some speculating that Ava's true aim is to safeguard her own reputation while watching Rick crumble under false accusations. Inventing a fresh layer to this intrigue, imagine Ava uncovering old emails from Rick's law firm that could be doctored to suggest he blackmailed Christina into the brake-cutting stunt, adding a digital trail of deceit to make the frame-up more convincing. The question looms, Will this bold move grant Ava the upper hand in her quest for payback? Or will it unravel in ways that expose even more secrets from her checkered history? As the previews for Monday's episode tease, Ava's proposition to Alexis could be the key to dismantling the web of threats hanging over them. But it comes with sky-high risks that might ensnare Christina further. Picture Ava gliding into Alexis' dimly lit office at the Invader headquarters, her designer heels clicking against the floor as she flashes a disarming smile, casually suggesting a pact to rewrite the narrative of their shared scandal. In this invented scenario, Ava might sweeten the deal by offering forged documents that portray Rick as the aggressive instigator who pressured Christina into the dangerous act, framing it as his twisted bid for revenge against Ava after their fallout. This would theoretically absolve Alexis and Ava of any direct involvement, allowing them to present themselves as unwitting pawns in Rick's game. However, Alexis, with her sharp legal mind honed from years of courtroom battles and personal recoveries, would likely scrutinize the offer, recalling her own history of desperate choice like the time she faked dissociative identity disorder to beat a murder charge. Desperation has pushed Alexis to the brink before, especially when it comes to protecting her daughters. She's clawed her way back from despondent, rebuilding her career brick by brick after ethical lapses nearly destroyed it. Adding a new element, perhaps Ava tempts her with insider info on Rick's shady dealings from his time as a district attorney, including whispers of past case manipulations that could bolster their false claims. But the peril is palpable. If Alexis bites, it could boomerang, dragging Christina deeper into legal jeopardy. As her brick-slicing escapade was born from a volatile mix of family loyalty and emotional turmoil following a heated confrontation at the Metro Court. Will Alexis succumb to the allure of this risky alliance to shield her daughter? Or will her instincts warn her of Ava's hidden agenda, potentially setting the stage for an even messier confrontation? Delving deeper into the potential fallout, Ava's scheme to scapegoat Rick might seem like a tantalizing escape route, but it poses a monumental dilemma for Alexis, who must weigh the short-term gains against the long-term dangers to her family and her hard-won professional standing. Spoilers hint that Ava could frame the plan as a neat resolution, tying up the blackmail loose ends by alleging Rick orchestrated the entire ordeal to undermine Ava's custody battles and personal vendettas. This would paint Rick as the villain who exploited Christina's vulnerabilities, perhaps even inventing a subplot where Ava claims Rick anonymously tipped off authorities about Christina's mental health struggles to manipulate her actions. Yet Alexis knows all too well the fragility of such deceptions. Her recent reinstatement as a lawyer came after rigorous scrutiny and probationary terms, making any whiff of impropriety a career ender. Fans are theorizing that if Alexis agrees, it could inadvertently spotlight Christina's role more intensely, leading to subpoenas or even charges that force her to relive the nightmare of that fateful night when she grabbed a pair of wire cutters in a fit of rage. On the flip side, rejecting Ava's offer might leave Alexis isolated, battling the blackmail alone while Ava pivots to a new strategy, maybe leaking selective details to the press to pressure Rick indirectly. Introducing an original twist, suppose Ava hints at possessing a hidden recording of Rick discussing the brakes incident in a way that could be edited to incriminate him, giving Alexis a tangible tool but also raising ethical red flags. The stakes couldn't be higher. Alexis has fought tooth and nail to maintain her good behavior status, attending mandatory ethics seminars and community service to prove her redemption. Protecting Christina, whose life has been a whirlwind of impulsive decisions from her cult involvement to her surrogacy heartbreaks, remains paramount. But at what cost? Could this plot ultimately safeguard the Davis women, or will it spiral into a catastrophe that dooms them all, exposing fractures in their already strained relationships? As tensions build in Port Charles, the ripple effects of Ava's revenge-fueled olive branch could either crown her as the ultimate schemer or lead to her dramatic downfall, with Christina caught in the crossfire. While the idea of framing Rick appeals to Ava's sense of justice after his romantic defection, Alexis' hesitation stems from a deep-seated fear of repeating past mistakes that nearly cost her everything. Remember, Alexis' journey back to the bar involved not just legal hurdles but personal growth, including therapy sessions to address her history of alcoholism and family enmeshment. If she aligns with Ava, it might provide a temporary shield for Christina, allowing her to focus on healing from recent traumas like the loss of her surrogate baby and her fallout with Blaze. However, the plan's fragility is evident. Rick, no stranger to cutthroat tactics from his days prosecuting high-profile cases, could counter with his own evidence, perhaps revealing Ava's manipulative texts or Christina's unhinged voicemails from that chaotic period. In a creative edition, envision a scene where Ava secretly meets with a shady private investigator to plant fake digital footprints linking Rick to the blackmail, only for Alexis to stumble upon clues that it's all a setup to eliminate competition in Ava's custody fight for Avery. The fan community is abuzz, hoping Alexis outmaneuvers Ava's web. But there's a palpable dread that Christina's vulnerability stem from her bipolar diagnosis and recent emotional upheaval make her the unintended casualty. Will Ava's calculated revenge secure her position, or will it backfire spectacularly, unraveling alliances and inviting fresh scandals? Next, we will uncover the thrilling possibilities of Jason Morgan's long-awaited reunion with Britt Western, including a poignant confession that could reignite their passionate connection. In the shadowy undercurrents of Port Charles, Jason Morgan finds himself lost in nostalgic thoughts about his all-too-brief romance with the enigmatic Britt Western, a relationship that left an indelible mark on both despite its untimely interruption. Fans have long lamented how their budding love story was cut short when Jason was presumed dead in a tunnel collapse. Yet subtle hints in Britt's lingering glances and quiet admissions revealed her enduring affection for him even in his absence. Now, with Jason back from the brink and laser-focused on unraveling the mystery of Britt's own fake demise, the stage is set for a dramatic face-to-face encounter that could finally allow their unfinished tale to flourish. Inventing a fresh layer to Jason's introspection, picture him poring over old photographs from their stolen moments at the Metro Court, recalling how Britt's sharp wit and vulnerability pierced through his stoic exterior during late-night confessions about her troubled family legacy with the Casadines. This reflection has fueled his relentless pursuit, especially after spotting her at a bustling Paris airport, where she hurried onto a flight bound for the sun-drenched shores of Dubrovnik. Oblivious to his watchful eyes hidden among the crowd, Britt, Ava the survivor, has been keeping tabs on Port Charles happenings from afar, aware of Jason's miraculous return and the fact that his arranged marriage to Carly Spencer never materialized. Thanks to Sonny Corintho's unexpected resurrection from his presumed grave in Nixon Falls, adding a new element, perhaps Jason's determination intensifies after eavesdropping on Britt's heated phone call with the mysterious Pascal, a shadowy figure tied to her disappearance. Where snippets of desperation about hidden dangers in Port Charles echo through his mind, pushing him to track her down across Europe. As Jason closes in on Britt's whereabouts, the anticipation builds for an emotional showdown where he confronts her about the elaborate ruse of her death, questioning why she's chosen exile over returning to those who mourned her loss. Spoilers suggest Britt might be caught off guard by Jason's sudden appearance, perhaps in a quaint Dubrovnik cafe overlooking the Adriatic Sea, where the salty breeze carries the weight of unspoken regrets. She had to explain the web of deceptions that led her to stage her passing Mabe involving threats from her villainous mother, Liesel Obrecht, or underground dealings with international syndicates that forced her into hiding. In turn, Jason could open up about his own harrowing ideals, from the amnesia that reshaped his identity to the mob entanglements that nearly cost him everything. This mutual vulnerability sets the perfect backdrop for Jason to deliver 6 profoundly moving words that have been simmering in his heart. I never stopped caring about you. These words, laced with raw honesty, acknowledge the pain he inflicted when he proceeded with the wedding to Carly, a decision born from the chaos of protecting the Corinthos empire amid Sonny's absence, including fending off rival threats like the Novak family who sought to exploit the power vacuum. To expand creatively, imagine Jason recounting a specific memory of Britt tending to his wounds after a brutal shootout, her gentle touch contrasting with the violence of his world, reinforcing how her presence brought a rare sense of peace he hadn't known since his Quartermain days. Even as Jason's bond with Carly deepened during those turbulent months forged in the fires of shared grief and strategic alliances to maintain control over the mob territory set. Never eclipsed the special connection he shared with Britt, one built on mutual understanding of life's darker edges. Their romance, though fleeting, was marked by intimate escapades, like clandestine motorcycle rides along the winding roads outside Port Charles, where they confided in each other about past heartbreak sprits from her fraught relationship with Patrick Drake and Jason's from his complicated history with Sam McCall. Now, with both having stared death in the face, this reunion promises to deepen that unique rapport, potentially evolving into something unbreakable as they navigate the revelations ahead. Britt, for her part, will need to unpack the layers of her fabricated end, perhaps revealing how she orchestrated a fake medical crisis with falsified hospital records to escape a deadly pursuit by remnants of the WSB, adding intrigue to her survival story. Jason, too, might disclose untold details of his time in captivity, including brainwashing attempts that tested his loyalties, making their exchange a cathartic release of pent-up secrets. Inventing an additional twist, suppose Jason arrives bearing a locket Britt once gave him, engraved with a private message from their time together, symbolizing his unwavering hold on their shared past despite the years apart. The path forward for Jason and Britt hints at an extraordinary opportunity for a second-chance love affair, one that could redefine their futures amid the high-stakes drama of General Hospital. As they reunite, the storyline is poised to unleash a cascade of startling disclosures. From Britt's alliances with enigmatic figures like Pascal might be revealed as a rogue agent with ties to Jason's own shadowy history to the ripple effects on Port Charles. Residents who believed her gone forever, such as her half-brother Peter August's lingering influence or her friendship with Brad Cooper. Fans can expect heartfelt dialogues that peel back the layers of their emotions, with Jason's confession serving as the spark to reignite their flame, perhaps leading to impulsive decisions like eloping in a European hideaway to evade dangers back home. This narrative arc underscores how their bond, tested by presumed deaths and betrayals, holds the potential for profound growth, blending romance with suspense in true soap opera fashion. Stay tuned for more ABC General Hospital spoilers as this captivating reunion unfolds, and let us know in the comments, do you think Jason's words will win Britt back? Or will hidden obstacles keep them apart?